Hi guys, I'm Justin Scott and today I've been invited to Lode Street Studios in Kidderminster to rehead all their drum kits. So let me show you what I've got. A snare, 2 racks and a floor tom. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to take the 2 racks and the floor tom, and I'm going to pop them on the floor over there just to get them away from the kit, because it's easier to work away from the kit than it is to change a head when it's actually on the drum kit. It's quicker and it's just much easier. I will be starting with the floor tom. I'm going to find the don't matter with that way. I'm going to find the logo. I'm going to start at because I'm looking down at the holding mechanism. There's 2 labels. I'm going to start at the right hand side of one, take a single turn of each drum lug nut, and some of these aren't even doing anything. That one ain't even doing anything. So in the comments, if you've got a Premier drum kit, there's always one, isn't it? If you've got a Premier drum kit, if you've been kind enough in the comments to tell me what shells have you got, whether you got maple, or have you got birch, or some other freaky wood that I've never heard of. What drum heads do you put on yours? I'd love to know. And why? What makes you choose that drum head over another drum head? Okay, so we pop them back on. Now, I must confess, I've got 4 hours to rehead 4 drum kits and film it at the same time, so I'm kind of pushing it at the moment. And another question in the comment section: where do you tune your kit? Do you actually do it on the drum kit, or do you do it? Do you do what I'm doing? Is actually remove the shells from the kit and do them somewhere else in a more comfortable environment. I've got to be honest, normally I would prefer to put it on a desk or a bench. So once I've got it, all the lug nuts actually in situ and they're all threaded, meaning the threads are connected with the other threads on the lugs, give it a spin, give your drum kit a spin until it starts biting. That's all. So that from that point you do 1 full turn, and this is just your starting point, ready for seating the head. So that's in situ. So you can hear the cracking. There's quite a bit of cracking on there. I'm going to make it real split and crack, and that's seated the head nicely. And a half turn all the way around. So the head's on, and that's good enough for me at the moment. I'll do the tuning when I get it to the kit. Now straight away I can see that this drum isn't round. If you look at this is the 13. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but up here the hoop actually comes to a point to around here, so it's further away from the shell than it is. Sorry, it's close to the shell there, and it's further away from the shell here. I have a feeling that's going to be quite a significantly warped hoop. So we get that taken off. Sorry, when I'm doing a drum head that's clearly a drum head that the hoop is clearly warped, I only go down in loosen it off in increments of half a turn, because you don't know what that release of pressure actually is going to do to the drum head, to the shell rather. It's easy enough to replace a hoop, but to replace a drum shell can be quite expensive and quite difficult, especially if you're dealing with a classic kit like this. Now, like most people, the reason I'm just doing the top head is not everybody has got the finances to rehead the drums top and bottom each time. If you take the analogy of being a guitarist will simply, to change his drum heads, just changes his strings. To change his plectrums, we have to change our drumsticks. Plectrums are £1.50-ish, or 50p even sometimes, and drumsticks are 16, 17, 18 quid a pair. So it's much more expensive to be a drummer than it is to be a guitarist in the long run, well, even in the short run. So we have to kind of look after our kit in such a way that we have to try and get the longest longevity out of it. And these heads have been on these drums for so long that it's time to change them. You know what I'm doing. You don't need to see this, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off and just blast through getting this drum head on. So looking at the hoop and the actual part that's kind of got a bit of a lift here, it kind of comes up to a point, so it's got a bit of a lift here. Sorry, I did that without showing the camera. It's got a bit of a lift here, so it comes up to a point. It's very slight, but it's enough to affect the tuning. So I'm going to move the shell there, and I'm going to reach into my toolbox, my larger toolbox, and I'm going to pull out this piece of kit, and that piece of kit, and it's my homemade mallet. That's better. Still not perfect, but I don't think I'm going to get it perfect, because whatever warped that, warped it a good 10-15 years ago or whatever, there we go, that's better. And it's a bit more round, that is there. Where's it gone? There it is. It's just a little bit more round, and it's not quite so much as a point. I don't know if the camera's picking that up actually, but that's much better than it was. Okay, so we've got all the lug nuts in situ. I'm just going to grab them down, spin them down till they bite. Okay. Now I'm going to seat them now. Good enough. One full turn. Absolutely sounds horrendous. So we'll go for a full turn again. Yeah, that's exactly what I was worried about. You can see it's all riveled this side. Basically the hoop must be, if you're looking at it from that perspective, it must be slightly like that. So I've got to come over this side and do, oh crumbs, 3 turns just to get that in the, and it still needs another half. There we go. Right, that's good enough for now. I'm going to pop it on the kit and get the next drum down here. On to the last of the toms. Oh, it's really on there tight, that is. Okay, so that drum head is off. Go for the small head. It's nice. So once I've got the head on, I'm going to do what I do and give it a spin until it bites. Beautiful. Good enough for now. So I'm going to sit the head. They don't need too much seating, the smaller heads don't. So I'm going to do a full turn on every one. See, another thing I tell is this hoop's also bowed as well. This hoop is, from where I am, it's kind of warped upwards. Obviously over the years it's had a few quick gig tunings without being detuned at the end of the gig and the problem sorted. Okay. What we've got here is, before I even touch the snare drum, we've got damage. One of these is snapped, and I don't even know what you call these things, rim holders or anything like, or something like that. It's a crazy setup. I don't know how old this drum is, but it looks great. But it is actually holding the hoop somehow. So I've got to try and work out how to remove that from the head. I'll get there with it. I'll get there with it. So I think he had it that way round, so I'm going to start off with the bottom snare mechanism. I can't even get my drum key in that. I don't know how he's doing that. Let's try a different drum key. I'll try another drum key. No, another one. No. So if you're wondering how many drum keys a drum tech actually carries, it's as many as he can find. No. And no. So out of 6 drum keys, not one of them fit into that gap there between the lug nut and this fixture that's broken. I guess the safest way to do it is to do it slowly and take off all the other hoops, all the other lug holders, hoop holders, I suppose is the word I'm going to call it, all the way around, and I'll take it down slowly. Hopefully it doesn't do any damage. Lug nut off. Here's the second. Third, I'm going to keep together with its bit. That is a crazy system. I love it though. That is beautiful. I am still not able to get anywhere near that. Still, there we go. That's going to have to be, so that's going to have to be the first one on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see that that's well and truly broken. That's what it's supposed to look like. Let me, if I can show you that. That's what it's supposed to look like, but it's well and truly broken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is insane. It is literally just a hoop. That is beautiful. I love that. can see why it wouldn't be changed very often. Yeah, it's called a Sensitone custom alloyed brass shell. It doesn't say that on the front. Oh, it does. Sensitone. There you go. Lovely drum, lovely looking drum. So get the last shell, head, another coated ambassador, and get it lined up with the logo on this one, as I do with all snares. I think that hoop is still perfectly straight, and it goes on sweet as a button. That's beautiful. I don't know how old this thing is, but that is gorgeous. Right, I'm going to pop that one on first, the broken one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I do the first one as well, that way at least I've got a bit of leeway with it, leverage with the head, and I've got to take it quite tight because I'm not going to be, actually if I leave a drum key on this, that'd be an idea, wouldn't it? So I'm using this old Premier drum key. It's got very thin walls compared to the Pearl drum key. I've had this since 1992, so it's quite an old. It's a 30-year-old drum key. That's going to go actually on there. I'm going to leave that on there whilst I'm putting all the other heads on, all the other lugs on. This is a heck of a learning curve for me, actually. I love working with old vintage drums. They're a real eye-opener very often, and this certainly is. Okay, so I'm going to get this just till they bite. Done that one. You can hear loads of cracking because the head's still seating. I wouldn't want to put all my weight on a drum this old. It's just too risky because I'm a fat guy. Okay, that is good enough to put back on the drum kit. So that is the drums reheaded. They're not tuned, they're still cracking, so you can hear them cracking. So they're still seating. So I'm just going to give one hit of each drum so you get a rough idea of what it sounds like before tuning. They sound okay. Okay, so I'm going to start at the snare drum. Obviously because I've got this broken, get rid of that, because they've got the broken lug, what do you call these things? Hoop holder? I'm going to hoop clamp, I don't know. On this particular snare drum I'm going to have to go tread lightly because I don't know how the rest of it's going to cope with being hit and struck, but it's obviously a workhorse because it's done some serious hours. So I'm going to go around and have a listen to this snare. Now, I believe the owner of this entire drum kit, he's one of the drum teachers here at Load Street Studios. I believe his name's Nigel. Yeah, I've got to try and do the best I can with this, because people are going to learn on this kit. So I want them to really fall in love with the sound of the kit. So. So you don't always need to be whacking the drum with your drumstick to have a rough idea of the content of the note that comes from the drum, and it's still seating. That sounds okay. So I'm going to move on to the floor tom. And at this point, you need to have a listen. There's a sound coming from the floor tom that's kind of like a growl about half a second into the note. It sounds like it's coming from the bottom head. So I need to have a quick listen. Unfortunately, that sounds like there's a drum key missing. I didn't even notice that, but it sounds like a drum, a lug nut is missing, or very loose at least, and it's missing. It's just there. So I need to find my toolbox and get a replacement for that's missing. What you find with various different manufacturers is sometimes they use a different type of thread. Some of the tamer are different threads to pearl or other mates, but thankfully, a Premier drumhead will take a pearl drum lug nut. I don't have any spare washers, but we'll see what we can do with that. So what I'm listening to is not the actual kinetics of the note. I'm listening to the drone that comes afterwards. So that one wasn't even touching. Bottom sounds okay. That'll do for now. Second rack tom. Again, I've got a growl. It's just there. Now, looking at this drum, it looks like at the bottom has got a little bit damp at some point, so that could also affect the sound of the drum. I will have to tell the owner of the drum that you can actually see water damage, I think it is anyway, inside the bottom of the head, bottom of the shell. The shell actually looks discoloured. So I'm going to use the fat end of the drumstick, not the batter end, and just wanted to listen to what the resonation note is. What that sounds like is with there's kind of like a bend in the pitch, so it sounds like there's one note, one lug that's actually somewhere on it that's actually seated further than the other parts of the drum. It's just there. There we go. So what I was doing then was just bringing the whole pitch of the note down just slightly. So moving on to the 12-inch tom. Actually, it sounds alright. I'm going to leave that just there. Quite happy with the sound of the snare drum. Now for the real difficult bit, I've got to try and get that drum key off there. Oh, came off easier than I hoped. Brilliant. That drum kit's finished. Before I go, actually, I'm going to have a quick listen to the bass drum. It sounds pretty killer. I've got to be honest, the drum head on it is pretty dead, but it sounds absolutely incredible. This is a lovely sounding drum kit. I do like Premier drums. Again, same with Tamer. When I was younger, I didn't really like Premier drums for some reason. I don't know why, but they've really grown on me, especially beautiful old kits like this. Absolutely gorgeous drums. First drum kit down of the 4 that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to leave this video there for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please click and subscribe if you like. I'm going to move on to the next drum kit, but thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.